Добрый вечер.
Военно-политического блока, когда практически постоянно агрессивные решения, агрессивные заявления.
Я согласен с теми.
I agree with those who believe that every country has a right to choose by itself the system which provides its own security.
Сама выбирать.
This applies to all countries, including Ukraine.
Это касается всех стран.
But it also means that security of one country cannot be provided at the expense of another country's security.
Не может быть обеспечена за счет
In this case, of the Russian Federation,
Мы всегда
we have always opposed Ukraine's membership of the North Atlantic Bloc,
Североатлантического блока.
but we have never doubted its right to conduct its economic activity the way it wants.
Заниматься
This also applies to the EU membership.
хочет. В том числе это касается и членства в ЕС.
По мирному урегулированию на Украине все чаще звучит формула гарантии безопасности в обмен на территорию.
Мы исходим из того, что
We believe every country should have these security guarantees in its security system.
систему безопасности и Украина.
This also applies to
Это
Ukraine.
не связано с какими-то
But this has nothing to do with any swaps,
Мы вообще, честно говоря,
especially land swaps.
мы же боремся не столько за
I
территорию.
want to emphasize that we are fighting not so much for the territories but rather for human rights and the right of people who live on these territories to speak their language and stay within the culture and the traditions that they inherited from previous generations, from their fathers, grandfathers, and so on.
Хочу напомнить и
I would like to remind you of first articles of the UN Charter where it is stated that nations have a right to self-determination.
но мы не связываем одно с другим.
But we do not link territories to security guarantees.
Как бы, конечно, это можно сказать, что
Of
это
course,
близкие темы, так, но
We can say these topics are close to each other,
не связываем. И
but we
так
don't link
вопрос
them directly.
в ходе дискуссии.
And this is not the way this issue was raised in Anchorage.
Это путь
It's a road to where,
если просто
just meeting with the head of the current Ukrainian administration.
администрации, так скажем,
Let's put it carefully this way.
встречи. Можно.
It is possible to meet. I have never refused to do so, in case this meeting is well prepared and leads to some possible positive results.
Кстати говоря,
By the way, Donald asked me to hold such a meeting.
провести такую встречу.
I said this is possible. At the end of the day, if Zelensky is ready, let him come to Moscow, and such a meeting will take place.